10 years is plenty of time for change in the 20th century. The past decade has brought about many changes. The physical environmental affects social change because man adapts to the environment. The physical changes such as climate, storms, floodings, and other geographical changes can affect decisions that people make about where they live, how they dress, and in some cases, the job that they choose. If a person averse to cold, they do not want to live in a place where it gets really cold or work a job that will have them in elements during the winter season. Those that enjoy water may not choose to live near water or visit during hurricane season. With the recent events such as Hurricane Florence and Matthews, people are changing how they prepare for storms, and some are even changing the location of their homes. Social change can affect the population through birth rate, death rate, and immigration. The birth rate can increase or decrease depending upon the circumstances. If people have jobs where they are making more money or getting their better health benefits, they are likely to have more children because they are in better health and can afford child care. The improvements for healthcare is also help people to live longer, which would increase the population due to more people having babies and people living to be older. Death rate can change due to healthcare and people being able to afford to go to the doctor and eat better. The population can increase due to people immigrating from one another countries and fewer people leaving. All of these factors have an effect on social change because longer lives the immigration will produce an increase in population. Technology has been a major catalyst for innovation, diffusion, and mass medias, which all affects social change. The changes that constantly happen with the new environment and the improvement of technology diffuses and spreads throughout the part because the mass media, with the World Wide Web and social media, it is easy to share new inventions and discover. Social media gives people the opportunity to share with the people that they may have come in physical contact with and get the word out much faster. If someone wants to notify people of an event or something that has happened in their life, social media is being used for that information. This has affected social change because people are dependent upon their cellular devices to find information or to stay in constant communication with the rest of the world. The information revolution has its pros and cons. The pros include the faster way to communicate, having access to more information through the world wide web, and being able to have documented at your fingertips. With smartphones and laptops, computers, they can be with you at all times. There are no excuses to not have access to anyone or lose communication. Some of the cons include the factor of which technology is only good the person is using. There is no benefit to having technology if you do not know how to use it. The use of a smartphone has caused people to talk less on the phone or in person. Everywhere that you go, you see people on their phones and not really communicating with each other. There are phones at the dinner table, in the bedroom, and even the classroom. The information revolution helps you get information out quickly, but also has people so preoccupied that they forget to communicate in person or spend quality time without technology. As technology improves over time, it will help you get information out to the mass faster, but I fear that there will be a breakdown in physical communication. The process of modernism moves from the traditional arrangement of those that are more industrial. Third world countries or undeveloped nations move in ritual to urban, increase the population, have more specialized labor, and gain a longer knowledge base because of modernization. With the liberal Western democracies exposed their countries to their economics. And there are changes in literacy, education, and communication. These changes close the gap in the social order. Communication helps to dispense policies, resources, and skills in these communities to provide opportunity for opposition. Social movements began with the endology. It gives the individual the perception of the purpose, rational conditions, and designs a movement. The endology is what brings people together because of their shared belief and concerns. The type of social movements that have occurred in history are revolutionary, reform, resistance, and expressive. In the 18th century, there was the American Revolution movement and the Mexican Revolution movement of the early 20th century. The Americans fought and won independence from Great Britain and became the United States of America in 1765. The Mexican Revolution began in 1910 because of the challenges against the dictator Diaz. The reform movement pursued change that implemented existing value schemes more adequately. The civil rights movement, who was said to have reform emphasis because it sought to extend values already acknowledged and has inherited in political democracy to the African American population in the United States. The civil rights movement sought for basic changes in the republic form of the government to rearrange class status and to initiate a system of greater African American independence. The resistance movement called for the institutional change to the blockage to change the element of previous change. The civil rights movements in the South in the 1950s is an example of resistance. The white counter-attack is movement by creating groups such as the Ku Klux Klan expression movement, renewed people from within some promise of future redemption. An example of these expressive movements is the popularity of Zen Buddhism in the 1970s and the 1980s. A more popular expressive movement is the popularity of the Pentecostal and the holiness religious sects. Expressive movement do not aim to save the world. They aim to save individuals from the world. Thank you.